So yeah, thank you, and warm welcome also from my side. Excited to be here, and I wanted to talk about the future of NoCode with automation and with Make. But before we do that, I will set a little bit the scene for that. At the very core of what we're doing, we believe that what makes a business succeed and relevant is usually a very differentiated value chain. And these value chains usually are quite complex. They touch different departments, different systems, different people, and maybe even different businesses. And they go across all of them. So what needs to happen to be successful over time is you need to be able to connect things efficiently, stay agile, iterate over it, and really make sure you're getting the best outcomes for your customers. And a lot of that work is actually what we call seam work, so kind of the connecting tissue between the vital organs of a business. So, and that's what we are about. We are here to really make that easy for, in small to large businesses, every different elements of it, like the simplest automations to more complex business value chains and workflows. And we make this in a hopefully very simple and no-code way. And before we get into that, I want to zoom out a little bit and talk about three fundamental changes in our environment, our markets. And the first one is one that you all can feel. Winter is coming, it's getting cold, resources are getting scarce, and productivity challenges are much more relevant than ever before and much more apparent than ever before, and it's getting competitive. So staying efficient and being highly productive as a business is, of course, a never-ending topic. The second one is what I call the skill gap, which is there's a lot of highly skilled jobs that are open in the market and that we cannot fill anymore. And this challenge becomes bigger and bigger. And then the third one I want to talk about a little bit is more about business agility, so the need to adjust to all the changes in the world around you and how you can make sure that you continue to successfully serve your customers. And being a mathematician from my background, I brought a few numbers that I can throw at you, but hopefully also some insights around that. So let's go into it. First one is the productivity challenge. So here I brought one number, and this is 69 days is the amount of time that on average an employee spends every year doing repetitive or administrative tasks in their work. So it's a huge amount of inefficiency there, a huge gap, and a lot of that could actually be automated. And also, like 2 out of 3 CEOs today in surveys say, hey, automation is on their personal agenda of like what they want to change in the business to really make it more efficient and really continue to be competitive. And if you think about it in the broader scheme of things, automation is a never-ending theme for centuries already. If you think about steam engine or production lines, industrial revolution, nowadays also with like a lot of the automation in the IT sector, but also nowadays AI and so on. And all the time it's propelling us forward. And all the time it makes the things we can do more meaningful as well. And you can focus on what really matters and what really makes a difference. And it makes us more productive as humankind. So I think that's what's super exciting about it, and I think it's a main theme for us as well. But let's move on for now. The skill gap that I mentioned earlier. I think this is one that is really a systemic topic in society today. And here, I want to ask you, maybe someone knows, how many people in the world today can read, write, or count? Someone has an idea? We're a small group, so it's easy to just shout it in. Some guesses? In percentage of 70? More or less 50? It's actually more, it's 86%. So quite a lot actually already, but it's a lot of a big gap still, right? So, but everyone was guessing even lower. That's interesting. Now, how many people in the world can code? 0.5 was not too bad, 0.3. So this is a big gap, of course. Now what's interesting is if you go back 500 years roughly, and you ask for a read-write or count, and you get roughly 1% as well. So we've come a long way in the meantime, but lots of work to be done. But at the same time, today there is already 5.5 million IT jobs globally that will go unfilled by 2025. This is from Gartner, so hopefully credible source, right? But it shows you the gap. And this is really where we see the challenge with like the numbers you see of how many people can code, how many IT skills that are not there and that we need to kind of fill the jobs and be productive. At the same time, from the jobs that are out there, only 5% can actually be automated fully. So yes, you can have some automation here and there and make you more productive, but it's not like there's entire jobs that easily go away. Like there's always some elements to it that are still needed to be done. So at the same time, while automation is exciting, it's not solving everything. It's not solving our skill gap. So if we really want to solve that, we need to also find new ways and different ways of how we can solve that. And that brings me to the third one, which is this need for business agility. And here, I think what's interesting is if you think about a business, it's quite complex. There's so many things you need to juggle as a business, whether you're small, a medium-sized, a large enterprise. You have all these elements in your business that you juggle every day. If it's about sales and revenue, if it's about support, operations, HR, marketing, product, IT, everything. And it's getting complex, and you need to juggle all at the same time. Now, at the same time, someone needs to bring this to the next level and build solutions for that. And already today, that doesn't happen in a central IT team, but usually it happens outside of IT teams in business areas of the business. So 41% of the solutions and the data solutions and technology solutions that are created in every business today already are not done by a central team in IT, but are distributed in the business. And that's also a fundamental belief of how we think this will move forward, is like we really believe that innovation will be driven by people with the right domain expertise, with the people who really understand, okay, why are we operating our sales processes this way? Why are we doing our people operations that way? How are we actually marketing our technology to the market? All of these things, the understanding of like the little details of why are things done the way they are, that usually sits with these domain experts. And if you empower them, that really drives and fuels innovation. And so those are the three buckets that I wanted to talk about. And that's what I believe is the big case for NoCode. Because if you think about it, it makes you more productive. We talked about automation and how it really drives things forward. It gives technology and the ability to build new things to a lot more people in every business and tries to solve the skill gap to some extent. But also, it allows people with the right expertise to very quickly adjust to the market conditions, to the environment around you, and modify your processes, modify your value chain, and really kind of act quickly on anything that's impacting you. And so that's the case for NoCode. And interestingly, this is a movement that's going very, very fast. If you look back into 2020, 25% of new applications that were built with no-code solutions or low-code solutions. Only 5 years later, in 2025, McKinsey estimates that more than 70% of all technology solutions that are built in businesses are already done by low-code and no-code. So we're really living through a revolution right now around how businesses operate, how they generate value, how they differentiate their value chains, and how they bring it to the next level. And that's exactly what we want to focus on also with our technology. With Make, we want to focus on this cutting edge where no-code meets automation and really make a difference there and help you differentiate your value chain and really create high value in how you operate as a business and how you can easily adjust on all levels, from the single employee in like automating small tasks and just increasing productivity for your personal use, all the way to cross systems, cross departments, cross organizations. And how we do it is in a no-code way, but also in a visual way. So with our technology, you don't have to tediously write code or review code. Maybe some now in the near future, many of us will not write code anyhow anymore, even if you can code, because there's your GitHub Copilot or there's your OpenAI that's kind of translating normal text into some form of a code. But still, you need to review it and you need to know how to read it. But what we do is more visual. We want to offer a visual way of how you create your processes, how you modify them, how you make them efficient, and you automate them. And you can see it here on the slide, what that looks like a little bit on the right-hand side. And what's so powerful about it is that already today, with our technology, you can connect thousands and thousands of applications. And not only when they have like the standardized APIs that are connected to Make and are available to everyone, but you can also just make a simple call with HTTP, or like you set a webhook in Make. There's all these ways to do it, and you can really do it across systems and really get deep into the value chain. And I brought one example that I just wanted to share. I spoke about this already before the day started here. I brought this customer example from ours. This is a company from Germany that now is quickly expanding in the US as well. They're called FinAuto. They are like a car subscription company. So you need to imagine it like you go online and you subscribe to your car. So you pick one of the cars that they have available. It can be a Tesla, can be a BMW, can be anything. I think they work with like more than 12, 13 different car brands. And you subscribe to it, and basically it's full service. It's registered, it has insurance, everything is, then they send it to the front of your door in a couple of days sometimes actually. And then you just pay online with your credit card and everything's covered. And how they did it is like they really decided from the very start to build things in a no-code fashion wherever they could. So really saying, hey, if it can be done without writing code, then leverage technologies to do so. And you can see how that has a huge impact. I mentioned how fast they can ship. Like they are going 93% faster to market than you usually get your car already today with that. They are super flexible. They can automate registration. They can automate insurance, all of that. And at the same time, they set themselves a baseline to say, okay, how much work do we do manually today and how much can we reduce that? And they kind of went from, they went down from like 100% as their baseline to 11%. So massive gains in productivity and automation as well there. And it's an interesting journey. A couple of years ago, in 2018, they started out with 6 founders, small business, and they've grown to more than 300 people already today. They secured over $600 million in funding nowadays already and expanding quickly into the US. And they're selling car amounts that like usual car dealerships cannot get to at this level. And all of that is powered by a lot of no-code technologies, a lot of automation, and really like driving things forward this way, which makes us super excited and makes us look forward to exciting no-code future. And that was it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe we want to take some questions. So thanks, Fabian, for your talk, and thanks for the use case. I think it was super interesting to see that. Do we have questions for Fabian about? Yeah, there is one over there. So I'm gonna just bring the mic. Can you please pass the mic by chance? Thanks.
Hi, thank you very much for the talk. You mentioned in the presentation that in 2025, 70% of automation will leverage no-code or low-code. Is that correct? Could you define leverage? What does it mean? Is it totally using no-code or just part of it? And can you give 1 or 2 examples of what this study means?
Yeah, so I think how it's meant is it's not about automations will leverage no-code or low-code. It was about generally building solutions in your business. So I think you can see in many of the digital native business these days that they leverage a lot of no-code technology, not only for what they want to expose to the end customers, but also for a lot of things that are done internally. If you think about like knowledge hubs, or you think about regular reporting or knowledge or like documentation and a lot of these things, businesses start to build a lot more in-house applications, and they are not coded by anyone, and they don't need to go to your engineers to figure out how can the business use this internal portal or this reporting or build a new documentation way or something like that. All of that can be done leveraging no-code technologies as well. So a lot of the technology you build as a business is not necessarily always outside facing as well. A lot of it is also about how do you operate as a business and how do you kind of interact between teams. You have your, and then building these solutions that like surface data or knowledge, anything like that, can also leverage a lot of no-code technology to make it a lot easier, and you don't rely on your engineering team to build that for the business stakeholders in the team, right? So I think that's what meant by that. What we see is basically also a lot of like systems that are like separate, very separate from each other, and you want to connect them, you want to sync data, you want to notify people from different departments working with different technologies, you want to pass data along and information as it comes up, and that's where we see a lot of usage also for Make, and where you also build some form of a solution, but it's more the connection of different technologies that really makes it happen then.
There's another question over here. And there is another after that. So was one here? Or maybe I'll try.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. Question, how do you answer the question about using low-code, no-code platforms can create a critical dependency to the business, therefore an external dependency to processes that may be very important to the business?
How do you mean dependency?
Like processing workflows, you know, and giving them away to a platform that operates on your behalf.
Okay, so I think this is not a very specific question to no-code. Any moment you're bringing in an external technology, you're sort of depending on it. When you bring in an ERP system, whether that's SAP or Oracle or maybe more modern systems as well, or you're bringing in something like a CRM system, whether that's Salesforce or HubSpot or everything, you're depending on it. At the same time, there is someone who has real expertise in doing exactly that, what you're looking for, purposefully. And yes, you're depending on them, but it makes you a lot more efficient. I think as a general rule, it doesn't really like, for me, it's not specific to no-code at least. But of course, like you can always say, okay, everything I'm building in-house. And I think that is valid because you're not depending on anyone externally, but you depend on the people who built it, because if they don't document very well, then you have a challenge there. But you lose basically speed. It's at the cost of speed. You will not be as fast. You will be not as competitive in the market if others have the same ideas, but they leverage technologies that really make you faster and more agile. Then you might get there if you're super innovative in your idea and you're the only one doing it. But if there's others doing similar things, speed is of the essence, I would say.
So there's the last question over there.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. I have a question for the liberty or the freedom that can the client have, like fine, the last example, which liberty they can have to they change what they have as a product, what they can change, and how Make, the platform Make, can be beside the client, and where is the limits, like do Make everything, or the client also can change or participate to make changes on his final product. Thank you.
Okay, I hope I answered this in the right way. If I understood the question wrongly, just let me know. So we are just offering a no-code technology that allows you to connect systems and build processes and highly automate them. We are not building them for you. We just offer the technology. They empower their teams, and it's easy to empower and coach them because it's a no-code technology, easy to learn, and you can really like bring this into many stakeholders in your organization. Actually, everyone that joins that team, like in the example there, when they join, they are trained on some no-code technologies, including Airtable, Make, a few others. And then this is really what empowers everyone in the business. Not only the engineers can build new solutions, but everyone. You are working in operations, you're working in fleet management, you can build new solutions. And that's what's creating the difference.
Well, I think there was a last question. Stephanie, maybe there was a last question over here that we can probably just take, and then we're good, and we'll go on the next talk.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. So I'm using Make in my company, and I see a lot of difference between the developer who use it and the people who use it just for managing, like marketing guys. So the point of view is really different between a developer and a user non-coder. And I'm thinking how Make will change in the future, more focused to the no-coder, or there will be maybe add some specification for people who want more customization or features? Because I think we can do a lot of more with Make, but we will add complexity, and this will not be good for the no-coder.
Yeah, so I think this goes deep down into product strategy, and I would definitely acknowledge that's something you need to think through and make it powerful. Maybe the one thing I can share for now is the way how we think about it is that to some extent simple automations and point-to-point connections you can probably achieve without visually building new flows. So empowering people or champions and Make to do more, but also being able to give easier ways to just start with something simple, like a point-to connection, or like some simple scenario that you want to have run with everyone in your business, basically. Trying to separate these from each other and empowering these separately is how we think about it. But it's of course just a very high level answer to it, but goes deep into the product strategy.
Thanks a lot. Give it a big round of applause for Fabian. Thank you very much, Fabian.
Thank you.